final race of the BMW IBSF Women's Bobsleigh World Cup at a very foggy Innsbruck in Austria, with just one run left to go to decide the fate of the Crystal Globe. It is going to be a nerve-jangling wait. 17 sleds, and we will know who is our World Cup champion. Martin Haven and John Morgan saying, welcome back, John. I don't know, what a race we've got on our hands.
Well, Kalicki Humphries, you know, with Lolo Jones on the back, decent starts, top 5, but Kalicki's been switching sleds, a little uncomfortable. Looked great top half of the track, bottom half of the track she lost time, but she's in a medal position, you know, 300ths ahead of a German. And then there's this team, Catherine Brehl from Austria. She comes down anywhere in the top 5. She will walk away with the Crystal Globe, the World Cup champion for the season, be the first Austrian ever to do it. A lot of pressure on this young lady. She's in second, 100th ahead of Kalicki Humphries, or excuse me, 100 behind Team Myers. Lake Quaza here, I mean, they had awesome starts. And, you know, she's done very well on this track before, Alana. In fact, she had a silver medal last night in the competition in the monobob. It looks like she's posed to challenge for another gold here. Only 100th ahead. Martin, pretty tight competition from 1 through 6 here.
Yes, of Katy Bile, Kalicki Humphries, Cynthia Appia, Kim Kalicki, and Lisa Bukvich, the rookie, ahead of Melissa Lottholtz. Question, John, when was the last time an athlete from Austria took a medal in every one of the different disciplines in the same weekend?
Never.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah,
I say that,
but
with
that woman there,
you know,
could do it. Wow. Sammy Meyer, I'd forgotten. Bronze medal in the men's skeleton. Janine Flock, medaled in the women's skeleton, took the Crystal Globe. Benny Meyer, medal in the men's bobsleigh. And Katy Bile could do the same here. And she leads our World Cup standings, and the maths is relatively straightforward. Kim Kalicki, her closest rival, 51 points back, only in 4th place, but only 1200ths off gold. If Kalicki wins, Katy needs a top 6 finish to clinch the Crystal Globe. The first time ever for an Austrian woman, and possibly the first time ever for an Austrian bobsledder, full stop. If Kim doesn't win, then Katy Bile, well, listen, she's 100th off the lead. She's going for it, isn't she? She's not a layup merchant. She is going to try and win the gold here, and it would be her first ever World Cup win. What a place to do it, and what a situation to do it in. But we've got to get through the other 16 sleds before we get to that particular battle. So here is our start list, and it is going to build to a magnificent climax, fog allowing. There'll be no commercial break because the fog is descending again, as it did in the men's race. We get our final heat of the season underway. It's women's bobsleigh in Innsbruck, Austria. Italy's Chiara Andreuti and Anna Schenk getting themselves as revved up as we are. Martin Haven and John Morgan watching the conclusion of a World Cup campaign.
Well, as they come out of the fog, they're the rabbits. They'll have the best ice to work with, Martin. And, you know, this fog puts a little moisture on the ice. It reduces friction. You know, I don't know if we're going to see better times, but we could. Conditions for the ice have not been the best this weekend compared to when they were here in December and track records were being set. It was a little colder then. But this young Italian, you know, she's got the 17th best start, and she's in 17th place at the end of the first run. But we've seen some good improvements from her, Martin, throughout the season.
It's only her 4th World Cup race as well, so she's got a lot of learning to do, but she's got age on her side. She's got 2 great coaches. The Italians are starting to really up their game. And 6 years, 5 years from now, Milan Cortina will be the Winter Olympic venue. The time is right, isn't it? 54.36, 2 thumbs up from Mani Mahata. She goes a quarter second better.
Yeah, 2400's better. Again, a lot of fog. That puts friction, or puts a lot of moisture on the ice, reduces friction. Now here's the key coming out of 9. Looks like she got out of there too early. Look at the friction on the runners. Very little there. She's great lines from this 4th World Cup ever. Be interesting to see if she goes up to the World Championships next week at Altenburg, Martin. That's
I think they've got a spot.
big boy track.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah, but why wouldn't you send her? You know, give them that big experience as much as you can. I think the girls are up for that.
But
Next up,
Altenburg's
Anastasia
not
Makarova.
Innsbruck.
Yeah, well, it ain't Kansas. Anastasia Makarova with Yulia Belemesnik, 3rd World Cup race for the driver, 16th for her brakewoman. And Makarova, again, you sense that the Russians are really digging deep to find new, young talent. They've got a superstar in their men's field, Rostislav Gajtukovic. They need the next one from the women's campaign.
Yeah, but he gets the top 2 starts, Martin. And back here, this Russian athlete had the 11th best start, but the 16th best downtime. Now, you have the 11th best start. You want to finish at least 11th or better. When you go backwards 5, that means your driving skills are not perfect.
Again, she needs time on the ice.
Track.
She needs time in the gym.
Franklin comes from track and field. Ooh, hard hit there. Rough. She's got plenty of time here to be the leader. But, you know, be interesting to see if she goes faster this run, Martin.
54.17, 54.09, a little faster. Not the improvement of Giada Andreuti, but Anastasia Makarova has the lead of the race.
Well, she improved. Well, the tap up top, you don't want to see any movement up there on the entrance into this Kreisel. Use those marks, those blue lines to evaluate the sleds. Straddling the line, I think, is the most conservative, optimum line. This is out of curve 9. You look at the runner tips. Now, she's going to not do it correctly because she's going to come over here and bang. And then come over here and bang. That's not how to do it.
Smile on her face, Anastasia Makarova. She leads the race. Next up, Misha McNeil. And Misha with 0.04 of a second in hand. Montel Douglas, a brakewoman, back on the sled, but not 100% fit yet. She had last week off Vicky Williamson, the ex-Team Great Britain sprint cyclist there in the background. She had her first World Cup start. But Misha and Montel, I think, will be the #1 choice for the World Championships coming up from next week onwards.
Only the 16th best start in the first run. That's why she's back in the position she is. 580, 200 slower. Check the velocity out. That's how they get in the sled, get her on that first curve. So you could have a great start time. But if you don't have that power step or velocity into the sled, you won't have that great velocity. And on this track, where it's so slow up top and so flat, you need every amount of velocity you can get off that start. She's 500s down, Martin, but she was 1200s back on the start. Here she comes into the green numbers, as we would expect.
A little better out of 9 than Makarova.
Pulling away now, but again, she was 4th place here in the event in December, Martin, and had a chance to medal. 53.96. Yes, she's better by 1700ths.
Well, looks like the track is holding up just about at the moment. And as long as the visibility stays strong enough, then we should be good. Just having a look at what did they do in terms of starts. They did 565 in the first race in Innsbruck. So yeah, they're 1500 slower at the start.
Slower
and that makes
start.
a big difference. Yeah.
Big. That's a half second at the bottom right there. And that's why she was challenging for medals. Wasn't she in the lead or something at the end of the first heat in December? And she fell to 4th?
That was a couple of years back in Altenburg, where she led after first heat. But no, she was definitely in top 6 form. At the moment, they're not. fourth of our starters in this final heat of the regular season is Anne van Nieuwenhuis. Sarah Ertz, her brakewoman. And they have 400s in hand over Misha McNeil. Let's see if they can find a little bit more at the start.
They'll be similar, you know, 75 in the first run, so 77 here, so 76. You know, Misha McNeil and Anne have a lot in common. They're really good pilots. So it's going to be a head-to-head battle here. And yeah, they're both, exactly. So it's a maximum weight, the athletes and the sled. And so the bigger you are, the lighter the sled to push. But of course, you've got to find that balance. 600s up. I would think Anne would bring this down in the lead. Ooh, as soon as I said that, it's back to 1. Now it's red. Maybe Misha just had the perfect lines in this run. She went about 1800s faster. Ducks her head, 54.07. Yeah, Tom Bellhunty doesn't know there, but Misha went about almost 2/10 better, and Anne only went 200ths better. So drops 1 spot.
Yep. So regular season over for them as well. World Championships await. And the women race in Altenburg next weekend in the Worlds.
Look at the friction on the runners. That's as little bit. That's as quiet of an exit of curve 9 as we've seen all day in the women's event. The 4-man is a little different. Those 4-man sleds come off there with a lot of violence.
One of the Dutch boys helping down at the bottom. Little low country assistance. Next up, well, no low country, high country here for Brianna Walker and Sarah Blizzard from Australia. Brianna took her second women's monobob gold medal yesterday in the race here in Innsbruck. She was a convincing winner, track record in the first heat, one of the fastest starters. They started in this race 13th best, finished 13th best. Let's see if she can open up her advantage over Misha McNeil, which is 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, she won the event last night, Martin, with the 3rd and the 4th best start times in the 2 heats. And here she's got the 13th best start. And on this track, there's no track that we compete on. There's no track we do announcing on, Martin, on the planet that's got such an emphasis on the start that this track does. So, and then the meticulous steering. I mean, you don't steer up here. Your body lean in and out of curves. Do anything you can to not drag those runners across the ice more than they have to. 3/10. You got to say that's safe.
Yeah, 2700s, it's coming back. She was 2/10 ahead of Misha from the first heat. What she got in terms of speed, McNeil was quick down here. 2/10 up, she's going to be the leader, but no big advantage.
Yeah, she's slower in this heat. 600 slower. But what a great weekend for Down Under.
Yep.
She's Brianna Walker winning. I mean, she's getting a lot of media down there, and her father Mick watches the broadcast. Sent him some more interviews. But you know what she's doing for bobsledding Down Under with this new monobob event that we're going to see unveil right in front of us next year at the Olympics. Going to be pretty exciting. And the best thing about that, Martin, they're all driving the exact same sleds, which sort of equalizes it for the lesser nations like Australia. Give them a chance to compete. You don't have to go out and get a brakeman. Brianna Walker, great story.
Last Aussie World Cup pilot. Last Aussie World Cup pilot, Astrid Locke-Wilkinson, now has a 6-year-old son at school. That's how long she's been out of the sport. Brianna Walker leads from Misha McNeil and Anne van Nieuwenhuis. 12 sleds to go in Innsbruck. The end of a long and slightly crazy World Cup season for everybody. Shorter for the Canadians, Alicia Rissling and Erica Voss for Canada. Voss making her World Cup debut. And it's only Riss's third race of the season.
Yeah, Riz got tied for 6th last night in the monobob. Pretty good because it's her first ever monobob event.
Yeah.
Martin, the brakeman, you know what her sport is?
Go on.
Ringette. Ringette.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I did see that. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of hockey, but without a hockey stick or a puck. It's got a deck quoit and a straight stick. Yeah. Well, Riz will be going to the World Championships. Christine de Bruin is already in Altenburg training, and the race-off was between her 2 teammates, Cynthia Appia and Melissa Lotholtz, to decide who goes with the 3rd Canadian sled. That is coming up. Riz is in, and she has the lead. There's brakewoman Sarah Blizzard. So the Canadians lead from the Australians and the Brits. It's almost like a Commonwealth Games race.
Yeah.
There's a thought.
A lot of sponsors on that sled. Look at that sled. It's full of logos. I'm sure that's Alicia doing all that.
Yeah.
The basketball player from Calgary. One of the tallest athletes. Her and Andrea Greco were both about 6 foot. Pretty good line into 8. It sets you up for 9 and the rest of the track. It's just very easy track to get down, Martin. Really tough to get down, consistent and fast.
First German sled on the ice. 10th place after the first heat, the Olympic champion Mariama Yamanka. We've got both our Olympic champion gold medal winning athletes in the field. Annabelle Galanda is not the winning brakewoman. The winning brakewoman comes up later driving a sled. Galanda having her second, I beg your pardon, World Cup start here of her career. She is behind Yamanka, who is struggling for form this season.
8th best start the first run, and to finish, 10th. 61 this time, 200's better. Brakeman Galanda, first time I've seen her, Martin. I don't see any bio on her.
Yeah, she
obviously
raced in
another
Segulda
German
with Kim Kalicki, so she's had 1 race, 1 medal with Kalicki. That's a given, but she's not going to get a medal in her second race.
It seems Yamanka not doing well in monobob. She's done pretty well. She's won a couple. She's like 4 podiums, including a gold at the opening event in Segulda earlier in the season. But Martin, athletes go into slumps. I think this athlete, the Olympic gold medalist from Pyeongchang, Korea, I think she's in a slump. And she's got a lot of pressure. There's 2 other Germans up there in Altenburg already, Nolte and Schneider.
Yeah.
And she's like number 5 ranked right now of the German athletes. German coaches are going to have a tough decision what to do here.
I tell you what, she better have the summer of all summers and come out loaded for bear in the team trials before next season, because you're right, you've got Schneider, you've got Nolte, you've got Kalicki, who are all proven race winners this season, and you've got Buchwitz, who is ahead of her in this race. So, and that's Lisa's debut World Cup. So yeah, of
Martin,
the top 5,
I'm telling you right now,
she's 5th.
I bet you Buchwitz, I'm telling you right now, that I'm very impressed. She is the best start in the field in the first run. I'm betting on her to be on that Olympic team next year. The Germans sort of like athletes who can start the sled. And Yamanka won that gold medal, not with great starts in Korea, just some great driving.
Well, Mariama Yamanka has the lead. She was tied for 10th place with this woman, Nadezhda Sergeva. Sergeva with Alexandra Tarasova behind her. Nadezhda was our first sled on ice. 51st World Cup race for Nadezhda. 2nd for her brakewoman. Nadezhda's best
result a little bit of a slump.
Place. Yeah, she is.
Martin, she's in a little bit of a slump herself.
Well, if you're going to have an off-season, a year out from the games is the time to have one, isn't it?
Yeah, I would think, but, dead heat here with Yamanka. They were dead heat to start with, but she had a 400s better start and just threw it away with that tap, so she's red numbers. Another tap. And Martin, this athlete here won the World Cup final in Sigulda last year, which was the European Championship. So we thought she was poised for a breakout season, and it just hasn't happened. She's going to fall back.
With Yamanka, the year before, she won her first World Cup race in Sigulda, and then suddenly they couldn't stop her for 12 months. And then the others arrived. 53.84, she's a 10th down in second place.
And slower than her first heat time. Most of the other sleds have gone faster. Some of them a quarter second better. But, and she is a competitive athlete, and she wears her results on her forehead, Martin. She can, you can tell with the body language. She's tapped. Look at this. This is, you know, this isn't what, a 51st start? You know, this is not what you're supposed to do. It's tapping these walls up here, like here again. You know, and then in curve 8, this isn't bad, but boy, those two mistakes up top.
Well, Nadezhda may not even be looking at a top 10 finish here. She lies second with 9 to go. One of the most experienced drivers in this field. Anne van Nieuwenhuis has started 52 races. And surprisingly, given how young she is and how much we still think of her relatively recently as being a brakewoman, Anja Grecu of Romania has got a few under her belt as well. This is her 24th World Cup start as a driver.
She probably had 12 or 15 as a brakeman.
20.
20 as a brakeman. And how old is she? 26? She's already had
26 now,
Yeah, wow. Not a bad start in the first 12th best start, not a great start. At Monobob last night, she was 8th. Red numbers. 900s back. You could find 900s, but boy, you better have some rocket line here on the bottom. 9 to 8. She's pulling it back. Those are great lines.
Talked about Sigulda at the end of last year. She was the silver medalist behind Sergeva, and here they're battling to be 10th. She's not going to beat Yamanka.
This is going to be close.
She beat Sergeva? Yes,
400s. 53.81, 200s, worse.
What did she lose?
50, so she's 200 better, excuse me.
In Sigulda last year, was it like 100th or something?
200, and she would have got that pension in Romania. If you win a European championship in a sport, you get a pension for life. She missed it by 200ths of a second.
Oh, I've only got the results from the first heat, haven't got the full result. Yeah, she drives well, but may need a more oomph at the start.
For sure.
Well, she's got Theodora Vlad back behind her, who's Vlad is also driving bobsled and monobob. Next up, Lubov Chernik for Russia with Elena Mamedova behind her. Chernik just missed out on a Junior World Championship medal in Samrit. She was 4th. She's been the Junior World Champion before. Mamedova was the European champion last year behind Nadezhda Sergeva in that race in Sigulda. Lubov Chernik, 18th World Cup start now. This is the end of her 2nd full season as Russia's, effectively, Russia's #1, I think, this year.
A race within a race, Martin. She's right now thinking that I want to get to the bottom and beat my teammate. I want to emerge here as Russia #1, and she's ahead in the standings, barely ahead of the standings by only 8 points in the World Cup standings. So, you know, she's, you know, yeah, exactly. So, and she's got like about 800ths of a lead. So there's a lot on the line here. Maybe not for a medal, but for positioning herself as Russia #1 going into the Olympics.
There's a lot of 8s involved, which is an auspicious number for the Chinese, maybe not for the Russians. She's 3rd on the splits. She's 4th on the splits. Sergeva is 3rd. If she finishes one spot behind, they're tied in World Cup points.
She's not going to do it. She's going to fall behind Sergeva.
Yeah,
Sergeva, I'd like to see it. There it is.
She's back, and that means Sergeva moves ahead of her in the World Cup standings. And those tiny margins at the end of a long summer and a long winter Those are the heartbreakers.
Martin, the race within a race.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Sarajevo now finishes World Cup ahead. That's a big, big difference. Look at everything that she does here is correct, but she falls 2 places behind her teammate. Wow.
Yeah. Big
Look at
steer
the
off
start.
line,
I mean,
hits
she's
the
7.
wall.
Yeah.
Well, she possibly
Still
doesn't
smiling.
know. She's possibly not that fussed about dropping behind in the World Cup standings. Yamanka leads from Grecu and Sergeva. We have 7 sleds to go. Interesting times now for Melissa Lottholz of Canada. 3rd ever World Cup race as a driver, on top of 26 as a brakewoman. She's been a medalist here, pushing Kaylee Humphries, with Sarah Villani 7th after the first heat. But the medals
Fifth
are
best
only
start,
12 hundredths away.
5:57. Great start. You know, track and field athlete from the University of Alberta, Lottholz, and then her teammate Villani's a heptathlete from Western University. And Lottholz has won medals on this track, but as a brakeman for Kaylee Humphries in the past. 2100s lead. She's not worried about the teams that are down. She wants to post a great time and have a chance to medal. She medaled last night in the monobob event.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive for this only couple years driving for this former brakeman. Quarter-second lead.
Crucial thing is, she wants to beat her teammate Cynthia Appia, who comes up in 2 sleds time, 53.59. That's a big improvement, John. 1700ths
improvement.
Yeah. If
That's
she'd been 1700ths faster in the first heat, she'd have been 3rd.
Yeah.
That's a big improvement. And don't forget, this is the race between her and Appia for the spot in the World Championships.
Well, 2 good athletes here. Canadians and Americans have got great athletes in the women's bobsled in the front and the back seat, all over the place. Yeah. Good lines. Of course, this is the track, Martin. This is the track where there's such an emphasis on the start. You bring these brakemen up into the front seat as drivers. This is where they can show the potential that they have. Look how low she is into the cowling. The good aerodynamics.
Well, Melissa started driving full-time after the Olympic Games in Pyeongchang, and so did Lisa Buchwitz, with Cynthia Quofi, the pair making their World Cup debut together. Cynthia with 4 bobsleigh races in her life. Started in December with Anna Kola in Europa Cup. She's done 3 races, including last week's Junior Worlds with Lisa Buchwitz. They lie in 6th.
Ooh, they aren't in right. 55. They had a 54 in the first run. Tied for the best start there, Martin. And Martin, again, here's 2. One athlete we don't know, the brakeman. The Germans pull another one out of the hat. And then the driver, the Olympic gold medalist from 3 years ago, she's now in the front seat. Martin, how quickly she's advanced in the front seat is astonishing. Women's bobsled, boy, the way it's developing is becoming very interesting with the athleticism in the front seat.
Yeah. Well, so many of the men were brakemen before they became drivers, and that's clearly the way the women's game is going as well. 1200s back.
This isn't
behind
good.
Melissa Lottholz. She only has 400s
big deal for
in hand.
Lottholz.
Yes, it is.
That's a big deal for
She's
Melissa.
1 spot closer. She leads with 5 to go.
Martin, I'm betting you right now, this is an Olympic driver for Germany next year. Lisa Buchwitz, let me tell you. She's going to get about 400 trips between now and next year's Olympics. And she's got the best coaching. She's got great coaching, great equipment. And she's an awesome athlete. Look, she slipped getting in. So as soon as I said she's an awesome athlete, look what happens.
The push bar collapsed on her fingers in the first heat.
Collapsed on her hand, yeah. Look at that. there's why she's not the leader. That disruption at the start, actually she gets in pretty good.
Yeah, she
But
did.
it's okay, remember that name. She could go from gold medal in the back seat to gold medal in the front seat, maybe.
And what about this young lady as well? Cynthia Appia for Canada, another push athlete who has become a driving push-out athlete. She's got Dawn Richardson-Wilson behind her. So Dawn Wilson, Cynthia Appia, equal fastest start in the first heat at 5:54.
Powerful driver here. Shot putter, hammer thrower, 5:52. No one's had time like that. Her brakeman, Martin, you know, we talk about heptathletes and track and field and sprinters. Her sport, ultimate frisbee.
That must be full contact ultimate frisbee. Fantastic. So, Lotholtz versus Appia. This is for a place in the World Championships as Canada 3.
This is amazing what this young athlete has done. Great lines for an inexperienced driver. Almost medaled last night in monobob. This is impressive.
She was 300s out of the medals in the first heat. Is that enough for a medal? 53.48. That's way quicker than anybody has got.
2/10 better. Martin, the Canadians have something here, right? I'm telling you right now. Two of them, low
That is the
two.
fastest. That is the fastest run of the day. That's quicker than our leader Alana Myers-Taylor did in the first heat. That could be a medal for Cynthia Appia. And then what does Graham do? Because last night Melissa Lotholtz got a medal in the mono. Cynthia could medal here in the women's bob. Does he send them both to do each discipline? The one that they were better in?
Well, that's, look at her get in. Look at the athleticism. Again, she's a hammer thrower and a shot putter. And I thought she was a sprinter until I looked that up. Look at these lines, too. She probably doesn't have 100 trips driving bobsleds in her life. Last night, she was awesome in the monobob. And, wow, nice to be excited about aspiring athletes right here, Martin.
Remember the names. Yeah. All right. We could be in for a big shock result or two here today. Well, we had it in the men's race. We had it in skeleton. Kim Kalicki with Victoria Dernicker, the rookie brakewoman behind her. Kalicki is no fading violet. Bronze, silver, silver, bronze, silver, missed one gold.
She hasn't been off the podium yet, Martin.
No, not in her career so far. 7 races, 7 medals.
But last night she was only tied for 6th in the monobob. But in the monobob, everybody's driving the same sled. Everybody's got their own runners on, but Kalicki might have some good technology.
And she hasn't been driving them for 2 or 3 years like she has the women's sled, but she is behind Appia, and she's
not going to catch her.
The gap. Is there the speed?
Going to run out of track. Going to run out of track,
Cynthia Appia is going to lead with 3 to go. Will Kalicki be out of the medals for the first time ever behind a Canadian newcomer?
She might fall 2 places. 2 places.
Ah, she does.
She does. Wow.
So there's Cynthia Appia, our race leader. Kim Kalicki out of the medals for the first time in her World Cup career. Well, last time a gold medal in Koenigsegg. Looks like she's going to go away empty-handed from Innsbruck, where she took a silver and a bronze in December. But doesn't make her any less of a prospect, does it?
No, no, Martin, just remember, we're on the Eagles track. Look at this little variance here. This is Eagles. Martin, this is not Altenburg or Koenigsegg or a track like Whistler or Lake Placid. And from what I hear, the Beijing track's got some gremlins in it too. But this is Innsbruck. This is, you know, we call it big boy track, big girl track. Altenburg is that. Innsbruck is the place you want to come and hone your driving skills.
All right. 3 to go. We will have a North American on the podium. Will it be Cynthia Appia? or Kalicki Humphries. Kalicki Humphries with Lolo Jones, first race start of the season for Lolo after retiring post-Pyeongchang and then being persuaded to come back by Kalicki.
Watch the feet here. Watch Lolo Jones's feet. Watch how low they are to the ground. That's that hurdling technique. They made her an Olympic hurdler. She just missed winning. She could have won the gold there.
Yeah.
That mishap in the second to last hurdle. Start time, well, you know, not bad, but she's 500ths behind at the start. That puts her in the red numbers behind Cynthia Appia, which would be astonishing if somehow Appia could beat Humphries. Humphries is struggling on the bottom part of the track. She's been changing up equipment. 100 to 100, that's not a good sign. She should have come back to green numbers by here.
She's tied.
Now she's dead heat. But this is where she lost time in the first run, Martin, down below. Green numbers now.
What she got?
But the two-time Olympic champion and a bronze medalist, 300s. This is for at least a bronze medal.
Kalicki leads. She's in the medals.
But still.
Her former teammate applauds Cynthia Appia. So we've got Kalicki Humphries, Cynthia Appia, Melissa Lottholz, 1, 2, 3. But for a different change a couple of years ago in the Canadian Federation, that could be 3 Canadian athletes. But
Martin,
they decided they no longer needed a former champion.
Martin, when Kalicki Humphries emerged 10 years ago, 8, 9, 9, 10 seasons, she had the best start. Nobody could touch her. She went on to win that Olympic gold medal. Everybody doubted her driving abilities in Vancouver. She won that gold medal with her legs first and her driving second. Now look who's on her tail, Cynthia Appia. I'm telling you, watch out. If Cynthia Appia can get those couple hundred trips under her belt between now and Beijing with that start, wow.
Could be fun. Humphries, Appia, Lottholz. 2 to go. And the final 2 sleds after the first heat separated by 1/100th of a second. Kati Bile, Jennifer Onosanya first for Austria. They need a top 6 result to win the Crystal Globe. Bile is going for this, 5:58.
100th better. So much better at the start than she was last year. She gets to the bottom in the top 5 here. She wins the World Cup title and be the first Austrian ever to win a World Cup title in women's bobsled. But Martin, she was only 100th behind Alana, who's coming up. Now she's 100th behind Kalicki. But this is where the Austrian shortcut comes in, here at the bottom.
Here we go. 300's back, 9th best speed. She had great speed below the Kreisel. A podium would be great. She was on the podium here.
Not gonna catch her.
She wasn't on the podium here in December, but she is second at the line. She's in the medals. She is in the medals. There's Lolo Jones. They lead with 1 to go, and that is the Crystal Globe for the end of the season for Kati Bile and Jennifer Onosanya.
Listen up to the so deserving. Martin, we talked about how successful Austria's been on their home track this weekend.
Hey, Kati, you say hello to us every time, so we'll say hello back. Kati Bile, Jennifer Onosanya, World Cup champions. 1 sled to go in the season. It is done.
You know, I don't think she had a bad second run. I think that Kalicki Humphries had a great second run. That's why she fell 1 spot, but another medal. She's been on the podium.
Yes, Queen. Well, she'd only had 2 medals in her career up until now. Kati Bile makes it a 3rd and takes the Crystal Globe. What a crazy season it's been for everybody. Alana Myers-Taylor and Lake Quasar to round out their short season with potentially a win. 2nd in St. Moritz, 3rd in Koenigsee. They lead. It's either Alana Myers-Taylor or Kalicki Humphries.
Lake Quasar took a year off last year, but she's medaled before 3 or 4 different times with Alana Myers-Taylor. Great starts, 5:55. It's awesome. It's an improvement by 200ths. Alana had a very clean first run, which is something she didn't do in Königssee last week when she medaled. And she medaled again last night in the monobob, so she had a pretty good couple weeks. A little late there. She
had 900s over Kaylee, John. At the Kreisel, it's a near dead heat.
Yeah, but I don't think she's got the speed that Kaylee had. Gonna need to be clean down here. Humphries found some quick line down on the bottom. Alana's 200's back.
200.
I don't think so.
Are we gonna have a tie for gold? No, Humphries wins. Kaylee Humphries
for the United States.
Incredibly, given her reputation and her abilities, her first medal of the season. Kaylee Humphries takes gold. She's driven 3 different sleds and the monobob in 4 weeks. Now she has settled, I think, on the new Ixent sled built in Bavaria. She takes gold. Alana Myers-Taylor is the silver medalist. And Katy Bile takes bronze and the Crystal Globe.
So Alana now has only been off the podium once in about 2 monobobs and 3 World Cup races. 3 silvers, bronze, 2 bronze. I mean, I don't know where she lost it, Martin. Those lines are clean. It seemed to me she should add more lead into the Kreisel.
Alana's last win here with Lolo Jones in 2017. And her last medal here was in 2019 with Sylvia Hoffman. They were the bronze medalists. Kaylee Humphries, well, her last medal here was a little bit before that. When was her last medal here? Silver behind Alana in Alana's last, oh no, she got bronze with Sylvia Hoffman last season in December.
Kaylee has never won on this track. Martin, no, she's never won here.
Is there another track where that is true? Can't be. I'll ask her later. Kaylee Humphries, gold, and Lolo Jones, first race back in the World Cup, and she is a winner again. And you talked about that Olympic hurdles final where she clipped the hurdle and went sprawling on the ground, could have been a gold medalist, didn't get to go to the games in Pyeongchang. She has not come back to help somebody else qualify. She wants an Olympic podium finish, and who knows what might happen in a little over 12 months from now in Beijing. Kaylee Humphries is our winner of the final World Cup race of the season, from compatriot Alana Myers-Taylor. Katy Bile, the bronze medalist, ahead of Cynthia Appiah and Melissa Lotholtz, with Kim Kalicki and Lisa Buchwitz ahead of their teammate and team leader Mariami Amanka. This has been a race where the new young guard, John, have really stamped their mark on proceedings.
Wow. Martin, those brakemen are up in the front seat, and the start times we're seeing. Kaylee Humphries lived, and Alana Myers have both lived off their superior start times. Well, they got some competition coming at them in the next 12 months. That is for sure. Yep. But Humphries showed here why she's won 2 Olympic gold medals and a bronze. She finally got the sled figured out, and she had perfect lines in the second run. Martin didn't have a good first run, but boy, she had the gold medal run in the second heat.
Yep. Well, Eagles is a track where you've got to bring a gun to the knife fight at the start, and they had that. In the background, Lolo Jones and Jennifer Onosanya comparing notes, the 2 brake women. And there it is, confirmation for the first time ever. Katy Bile for Austria is the winner of the Crystal Globe in women's bobsleigh. Kim Kalicki ahead of Mariami Amanka. She vaulted Andrea Grecu. Laura Knowlton not here. She was 5th ahead of Melanie Hassler, who is also, like her teammate Martina Fontenev, training up in Altenburg, ready for the World Championships. And that is where we head next. But after a crazy season where somehow we got 8 World Cup races together, Katy Bile of Austria, with Jennifer Onosanya behind her every trip, wins the Crystal Globe. What a historic weekend for Austrian sliding. A medalist in each discipline, and Crystal Globes in women's bobsleigh and women's skeleton. That's it from Innsbruck. From John Morgan, me, Martin Haven, and the IBSF crew. Take care, stay safe. We will see you with all the action from Altenburg. 2 weeks of World Championships coming up next.